Hello and welcome back to Class Inspiration. Thank you for joining me. So today's topic, we're going to talk about space and all the resources and books that I've gathered through doing space in different classrooms in a primary school. So I'll start with some books first of all. Now, one of the most fabulous books I have is this one, and it's a really simple one. It's called Space and it's by Smart Kids. And you can find this on prettybooks.co.uk. And basically I bought this for some children in my SEN spectrum group. They really needed a space book that was simple but really packed full of knowledge. It's got really beautiful pictures in it. It's got lovely writing and there's a good balance of text and pictures as well. We also use this to photocopy and put around the displays in the classroom because the artwork in here is beautiful, and if you print them off, if you photocopy them like this, they're actually beautiful to use as a poster as well in your classroom. So for the low ability children and your children in your SEN spectrum, this book's fantastic. It's really simple. They'll be able to read it, gather the knowledge, and it makes the lesson, what you're doing, an all-inclusive lesson. So I would definitely recommend this book. It says it was $5.99 as well, which I think is worth it for this book. The next one is this lovely metallic plushy book. And again, it just says space on it. This is by rawpublishing.co.uk and cost me £20. Now, it's so expensive because it's an interactive book, meaning there are lots of lift the flap things. There's posters for you to pull out. Is it this one? Oh, go that way. And there's things for you to pull out, different pages, and it's a really good book for your middle ability children and your high ability. The language in here is sometimes a little bit difficult, but it will challenge your high ability group, which is what we want. It's a lovely book. It's almost like a story of an astronaut going to space and things he has to encounter. So it's not a storybook per se, but it's got a story in there. I would definitely recommend this book for your classroom. This used to sit in the library in the classroom and the children often took it out. It was one of the favourite ones. So I think that book's fabulous. Again, it's got a good balance of illustration to text. The text is of a good size as well. Maybe not for your children who struggle with their eyesight. You might have to blow it up on a photocopier. But I do like this book. So I would recommend that one. This one is... Oh, I have two of these. There we go. We've got it's DK Publishing and they come out with some fabulous books, don't they? Really fabulous series. So this one's a small series and the only space ones suitable for the topic was Earth and space. There wasn't any more like Jupiter or the moon, which I would have bought. But these ones are really interesting because you can use them on a webcam and they become like an interactive 3D book. So it's a really interesting tool to use if you've got children who don't really engage in reading so much and attention to what they're doing. It's a really good way to get those children involved by using the RT part of this book as well. Now then, inside, I'll just go through one. I'll go through space. This book it's a hard book, so it's going to keep nice for a lot of years. Now in here, it's a really nice text to picture ratio. We've got some beautiful illustrations in there and photographs. We have, what I like, the feature of this book is you have a black background with white text on it, and I don't know why that is, but children seem to really enjoy reading those sort of text on the black background. They find it easier, they flow better. Just try it with your children if they're struggling to read black text on white. Swap it over and try white text on black and see what you think. But my children really enjoyed this book. There's lots of different fact bubbles as well. So when you're doing your projects, for example, if you've got, say, year 4, year 3, and you're doing projects in the class where it's a table per topic, such as you do Mars, you do International Space Station, this book's really good for all sorts of facts for those children. It can be used the whole way around the classroom, whereas this one would be just a topic based one for the Earth table. So again, it was worth getting, definitely worth getting the space one, but the Earth one was worth it as well. It goes into the middle of your Earth and all the different minerals that's found there. but the children love this as well. It's a good reading level for them, not too complicated. And again, we could use this to photocopy and put around the classroom as well. So I do recommend this book for your space theme. And also the part at the back where you can make it interactive is a really lovely plus on this book. Now then, each of these books were £13. So there you go, quite expensive, but I would say worth it. The next one, it says Solar System on this one. So this one's by David Hughes and Carol Stott. Now this one is a hardback book with a beautiful cover on the front, so it's going to keep nice again. We used in the library in the class, and the children often took this book out. More so your high ability learners, because just look at the amount of text in this book. It's not going to appeal to children who struggle reading, is it? Give you another page. It's got some beautiful photographs in here that we used in an art project as well to try and get the texture of different planets right. For example, we did paper mache globes, and we all did different planets and hung them from the roof in the classroom, and we used this book to gauge what kind of colours we needed to mix, what kind of texture we needed to make the paper mache, or were we going to add in soil, things like that to make it bumpy. So it's a really good book for your art projects as well. And I would say it's quite good for science as well. If you're linking science with space, there's lots of scientific knowledge in this book. So definitely recommend this one. I would say it's suitable for year 4 and 5, your high ability children. It's not very language friendly for, say, year 3. But definitely recommend that book. The next one we have got is a Collins Stars and Planet book. Now this one again is by, it's like a series, is Collins, isn't it? It's got different series out there. Now this one again I bought because of the black background and white writing, and I bought this specifically to challenge an intervention group that I had with children on middle ability and high ability, which now has changed, hasn't it, to developing, emerging, and this is really good for your specific planet needs, for your specific planet projects, because it just gives enough information not to overwhelm the children in their research. Now, we have actually used this book to make a full PowerPoint presentation on the different planets out there and the differences between them, so you can find all your knowledge for your projects in this book as well. We popped this in the library for the children, and again it was one of the favourites. They took it out, it was used a lot, and look, it's been read to death and it's still in lovely condition. So this one says it was £20, hardback book, quite a thick book. I think that's worth it. The next one, bought this one for my little group of SEN spectrum children, special educational needs, and we were doing a project, a little project book, an A4 book of Earth, and this one I bought because just look how colourful it is, and it's full of pictures and interesting things for children, and also it's great for your science topic to copy from as well, for your cycles, like your weather cycles and what made Earth and things like that, and how they contribute to different parts of the world. But it's really good. There is a good amount of text in this book, not too much to overwhelm. My children with low ability and middle ability use this book. Again, we popped it also in the library, and it was another favourite of the children. It's by Miles and Kelly, which are a lovely set of publishers, and you can go on milesandkelly.net. And this one was £18, it says. So I do recommend this one. It's a lovely book, and it's kept its loveliness through being read many times. The next one is a smaller book, and it has a holographic, is that picking up on camera? No, it's got holographic front cover, and this one's been used a lot. I've still got all my bookmarks in it. Now this one is again by Miles and Kelly, like the one we had before, and this is, I would say, it's like an encyclopedia. So it's got everything to do with space that a child will need in a classroom for a project. It goes from your planets to your star constellations to NASA to the International Space Station. So it's a really useful book, and I highly recommend this one. It says it was £15, so it's a lovely thick little book is this. So I do recommend it, and I think you could use that book happily from year 3 right up to year 6, because again, it's got information in there that's going to appeal to your all different abilities of children. So definitely recommend that one. So this one is Children's Earth and Space Encyclopedia. So this is an encyclopedia and it's quite a large one. Again, it's hardback. It's going to stay nice in your classroom. This one's a lovely colourful book as well. All the pages are different colours, different block colours. And it goes through splitting the planets in half. So very good for your science projects. And we have also used this to copy diagrams from for our posters and display boards in the classroom when we are doing how a rocket's made or the different components. This is great for that. It looks at satellites. There you go, different components of the rocket. It's got a good amount of text in here. It will appeal to your, I would say, from year 3 to year 6 again. It's a good level of text for them to understand. And you can also simplify it for your children on your SEM spectrum. For example, you just take little chunks of writing. Ooh, you just take little chunks of writing instead of the big long paragraphs there. So do recommend this one. This one says it was £13, so a good amount of money there. Will last you years because it's hardback. The next one, I got this one for my little intervention group again, doing a PowerPoint presentation on space for the whole class. So I needed a simple book for them to be able to gather their knowledge from. So this one's a lovely big book and it's great for a multitude of levels of children. I would say it's one of the children's most favourite books purely because of the photography in there, the artwork. Again, we have used this to put round the classroom for knowledge posters. I highly recommend this. It's a good level of language, not going to be too challenging. And again, if you're doing your projects in class, this is a great one to use all the way around your classroom. So, highly recommend this one. This is by Primary Explorers and it says it was £8 and $15 in the USA. Right. Next one. Oh, it's another DK series. This one's Eyewitness. Fabulous book, this one. Space Exploration. Now then, this does come in a series and there are no more linked to space. They're all like ocean, rocks and minerals, things like that. But this one's great. It's absolutely jam-packed with chunks of information which are wonderful. We used this one in class when children were using it on their table about how space explorers have to dress, what the different components of their uniform have to be, you know, insulated helmet, blah blah blah, things like that. So this was great for that. The size of the text in here is really good. There's a larger section at the top and there's smaller sections at the bottom. So if you've got children who struggle reading with eyesight and things, this is a great one to let them have a chance to read from. They won't struggle as much. I do recommend this book for your classroom. Again, it can be used from year 3 upwards. It's a fabulous little book and it says it was £7. And this one is a project book that I bought. And what this was for when I got asked to quickly take children out for an intervention group to bump up the knowledge and the teacher didn't always have things ready. So I bought myself a book that I knew I could go and photocopy at the drop of a hat, and I had things in here for the children to do. And it's like a half and half book. So the first half is all the knowledge and going through and learning. Then you get to a sticker page, which is lovely to let your little children stick everything in. So you've got your sticker page, and then the next half is your workbook, and it's got quizzes in there, it's got actual work pages, multi-choice questions, and all the answers are also in the back to make your lives easy when you're marking. So I would highly recommend this one. This is from DK Eyewitness as well, so I'm presuming they might have some more project books. I'd have to look into that one. And it says it's £5, and I think I've bought this singular again, so watch out for some bargain books maybe for that one. So this next book is a really special book, and it's, well, it is a book, yeah, but it's made by me and my husband, and it's a scrapbook. Now, when I went to America about 5 years ago, we toured the Kennedy Space Center, because my husband's a big space buff. So while we were there, I took so many photos that when I got home, I thought I could actually put this into a book of facts for the children to use in class. So that's just what I did. I bought a little scrapbook album, and I used some stickers that I bought at the Kennedy Space Centre shop, and I basically went from the beginning of entering the space station to all the different aspects of what we learned. We've got the tour, we've got the clothing, we've got the people who sewed the space shuttles. Yes, sewed the space shuttles together. And the building where they're all made. Going to see Atlantis, Space Shuttle Atlantis, before it got popped up on display. And then when I ran out of things from the tour, I went on the internet and gathered some more information that I knew the children would need, such as all the astronauts who went to the moon, or where all the men landed exactly on the moon, which you can gather from Google. We've got posters in here that I bought. We've got the future of space travel, all different things that I knew the children would be interested in. So in that as well is a smaller booklet that my husband made, and it links with something else that I bought from the space centre, which is a patch, and it's a fabric patch of all the different Apollo missions that have been flown. So we bought this. I bought this purely so that I could do an art project with the children where they could replicate the badges with, you know, using mosaic types or pastels, different forms of art mediums, and we hung them from the roof on paper plates actually, so they were really big and beautiful. So we bought that. So my husband made the booklet to go along with the patches, and in the booklet he goes through which gentlemen were in which Apollo mission, the facts, figures, statistics, and he made it a lot like a top trump card so that it was easy for the children to read and gather their information from. So that's a lovely little addition to the scrapbook album. It didn't take him long, he enjoyed doing it. So I would advise you, if you're going somewhere like that, or even if you're going on a school trip to a zoo, get lots of photographs, and then you can make a scrapbook for the children to use in their library, because there's nothing nicer than looking through a book and seeing your face in it. Things like that, and the same applies for if you're going on holiday. I know it's work when you're on holiday, but it really is worth it when you can bring back that bit, and when you can bring back that knowledge and see the children using it and applying it in your classroom. So it was really worth it. So the next, oh no, I've got another 3 books to go. So this one's a small space encyclopedia. I got this purely because of the size. It was easy, it wouldn't overwhelm children on their desks when they were using it. This one's by Miles and Kelly again. It cost about £10. Again, it's just jam-packed full of everything the children will need in your classroom. Really good level of language, not too overwhelming. So I would highly recommend this one. Highly recommend that one. And the last 2 books. Now, I'm not sure where I got these books from. My head says Kennedy Space Centre, but I'm not just sure, so don't quote me on that. And they are small books about particular things. So the shuttles and the Apollo story. So this one links nicely with the badges that you made in your classroom. And this one is all about the different shuttles like Discovery, Atlantis and things like that. Now, these books are lovely. They've got a good level of text in there for the children, not too overwhelming. It's a good size as well. It's good to read. It's not itty bitty. And lovely photographs in there to use. We also use these books for making a timeline. Which shuttle was made first and so on and so on. And we also used it to make the timeline for the Apollo stories. So which mission was first, who was on it. And we put that round the top of a classroom so that when you went in, you had the planets hanging, you had the badges hanging, and then you had the timeline of all the Apollo missions. It was a super classroom. So there we go. Now, the next resources that I bought for space is space food. Now then, when I went to the Kennedy Space Centre, they were selling these ones, and it's basically freeze-dried. This one's freeze-dried ice cream, and this one's a freeze-dried cookie. Now, it's just like meringue, really, when you eat it. So you just got to check with your parents, send home an allergy form, make sure they sign it that the children can taste this. So these ones I bought, as I say, 5 years ago, so I don't open these. I just use these for the display board. And we also use these for maths, your weights and things to bring into lessons. We used it for scientific research with what ingredients are in these. So a multitude of things you can use these for. And then the ones I buy off the internet are these ones, and I buy these off Amazon. A little bit different packaging. Let me show you again. A bit different packaging. This one's got Kennedy Space Centre up there. This one is just freeze-dried, ready-to-eat space food. So when I'm doing the taste challenge with the children, these are the ones I buy off Amazon, and I think they're about £5. And again, this is just ice cream, and we just cut it up and see what the children think of it. We talk about the texture, the flavour, what we think it's most like, and some of the children have never tasted anything like this, so it's a really lovely way to explore new things with them and link with your space. So I do recommend you getting some space food. The next thing is a brain box. Now, we'll have seen these before. I'm not sure if you've watched a film where I've used them before, but this one's all about space, and I got this one from Toys R Us, and it cost £10. And what it is it is a game, but I don't use it as a game. I use it as starters for the day. So the children would come up to me, grab one of these, go and sit at the desks, and we would share information with the children as they were answering the register. So, for example, this one says Earth. Then on the back are different questions linked with the information that you've just read as well, so you can test the children. We're doing the register. I would say, David, come and give me your card, and he would give me the card, and I would say, okay then, what are the hands holding? And on here, the hand is holding plants and soils. So it's an interesting way to start your day. Lots of different things. We've got Venus in there. We've got, I think, constellations. It's just a lovely box of knowledge, and I highly recommend these little brain boxes. You get them for all sorts, history, football, and they're just lovely. And the children use this in wet play as well. They absolutely love using it because, again, it's a bit like a top trump. So, and I'm sure I need to get top trump space. Okay. The next one is a model, and this is, I think it must be Atlantis, up with its rocket boosters on, and it's on the crawler, which is the transporter that takes them to the launch pad. So I bought this purely for speech and language lessons and a literacy starter. I'd sit this in the middle of the table. It's one that you can open up and see what's inside the rocket, the shuttle. So we used to put this in the middle, and we'd say, where is it going, who's in it, what's their mission, and it would just be a fabulous little activity for children to do the sentence work, to use, maybe you've been talking about descriptive language, things like that. And for speech and language, it just gets them talking. So it's a fabulous little thing. I got this from TK Maxx, and I think it was about £11, but it's metal and plastic, and it's lovely, and it's lasted years. So I recommend you getting something like this. I know Lego do a version, and I've got that as well, but I just can't find it. So it's a Lego shuttle that you build up. It's great for children that maybe need help with their fine motor skills. They can build the shuttle up, and you can, again, hang it from your roof in your classroom. It's great. The next set of things I wanted to just touch on were some general resources that you can get off the internet, and these are from places like Sparklebox, Twinkle, Teacher's Pet, places like that, and they are just fabulous. You know, you don't have to spend your time making them. They're already done. You just, on some of the sites, you pay a subscription fee and print things off. Some sites, they're free. So we've got solar system fact cards, we've got, oh, they're the same, we've got facts, and I printed these off, laminated them, and used them as a board around the children's display board in the classroom. Again, it's great for them to just look at to get the knowledge. This one is a timeline, so that you can link it all. We've got a place to do your solar system on. These ones are for your story building, so they're just flashcards with specific photographs of space things on them, and we use those for speech and language to get the children talking. We also use them to build little fact books, things like that. We also have maths challenge cards to do with space. This is off Twinkle, so there's like your new constellation grid using your coordinates and things like that, so that's great to have in your little bag, your kit. Then we have sentence work, sentence start for maybe your low ability group. So we have simple sentences that the children can improve. That's a good way of doing it. What can you add to it? We also have large flashcards that are laminated, and what we did with these is I used them like a whiteboard, and we would turn it around and we would write as much as we can possibly know, as much as we possibly knew about that subject. So this one's the Space Shuttle Atlantis. So for the beginning of your lesson, say literacy, you'd hand these all out to the children, and they would maybe have 5 minutes to write as many facts down as they could. It just gets the brain going, it's this little brain warmer. So very successful. The children loved trying to beat each other in that one. Competition was fierce. And then that's all I could gather quickly to show you. So there are a multitude of resources to use online. All I can say is go and investigate, and when it's your term for that particular topic, print everything you possibly can off about it and put it in a file or a box to have ready, so that when you need a quick activity for your teaching assistant or maybe volunteer that's come in, that you can immediately go into that file, pick something out, photocopy it, and you know you're good to go. Don't be wasting your time trying to research again, printing. Oh no, printer's not working, what do I do? Oh, laminator's broken. You know, there's all these things take your time up, and as we know, in a school, every minute counts. So use your planning time really well when you're doing you're gathering your things for your topic. And also what helped is, as a teaching assistant, I made my own I made my own file, so I knew exactly what the teacher was doing, and I had a copy of what they did, so that next year, if she said, oh, can you just go and do something about the constellations, I could tell her, you don't need to worry about printing it off, I've already got it from last year. And it just makes that relationship with your teacher work and flow so much better. I know it's a bit of responsibility for us, but it ultimately makes our job so much easier as a teaching assistant, and you can really get stuck into teaching the children instead of looking for resources, wasting your time. So I really hope some of these resources and books and toys helped you decide what you're going to maybe get your group of children or your classroom. And I'll put the books and the prices and who they buy in the description bar as well. And if you've got any to share with us, just pop them in the comments below and tell us why it's such a fabulous product, because we're here to help each other. If you give this a thumbs up for me, I would really appreciate that. And subscribe to this channel, and welcome if you're new. Thank you for stopping by, and I will see you next week. Bye.